To my Q&A today. Thanks for all your questions. I have had lots of queries about coping with lockdown and about how you can see the good when things seem really stressful and difficult. Now, I know some of you had a lady email me yesterday evening saying that she was watching people on television, like they're doing a lot more of filming people from home, and she said that she found that, hang on, there we go. Hi everybody, sorry, there was a bit of a hiccup there with the technology, but I'm back on now. So yes, I was talking about, there was a lady that emailed me in last night saying that she's seeing TV and, like, you know, the news and everything at the moment. There's a lot of people being filmed in their homes, right? So there's a lot of people who are in their homes, like on the news, they're going to people's homes. If they are experts and things like that. I know I did ITV News a couple of weeks ago, and they just sort of do it through the camera like this, and they do it at your home. And this lady was saying that everybody seems to be doing really well and is happy and are coping a lot better than her. And she said that she's finding it really difficult comparing herself, because when she sees other people on Facebook or even her friends on FaceTime, but also just Joe blogs, that she's saying you're hearing all these tales about how people are doing positive things during their lockdown, and she's just saying that she's not finding it possible to do anything positive. She's putting on weight because she's eating unhealthy food. She's not managing to get out even some days for her walk, and all this is really having an impact, because the only thing she's got to do is to watch television and to go on the internet, and she's seeing a lot of people coping so much better than she is. So I just wanted to address that, really, because you know, what you see out there is people's best foot forward. You know, you do see people coping well, because if they're posting things, most people aren't going to be posting incredibly negative pictures. They're not going to be posting things that are really tough for them. They're not going to be sort of on that window into their world that they're allowing you to see. It's going to be like your best foot forward, right? So also the people that they're interviewing on the television, a lot of them are talking about how you can make things better or how to cope. I know the news can be really depressing as well, and it can be really scary as well. And I know that she's taking a lot of fear from what she's watching, and then she's obviously filtering all the good stuff that people are showing, you know, like there's been some amazing people that have stood up and stood out, like Captain Tom, those kind of people doing amazing things. But she's like, I don't feel good about anything. I don't feel positive about anything. And what I'm seeing from other people is that everyone's coping better than me. So first point, Hunt, is that you are not alone, okay? Please know that there are a lot of people that are struggling. And also the people you're seeing on TV as well. I mean, they're all going to have their ups and their downs. You know, we're all human. And this really is a roller coaster ride of fear and uncertainty. So, you know, and then couple that with the fact that you're going through a breakup, it's obviously going to increase pressure on you. Now, I know that this lady as well is suffering from real financial concerns, because she works for an airline, and obviously jobs there are having a real sort of tough time. And there's a lot of uncertainty around that. So please know that it's totally normal. You know, and actually I was grabbing a coffee this morning, and I had Lorraine on, and, you know, she's a trooper, right? And she was on TV, and I really like what she said, because she said that she was interviewing, I don't know if any of you saw her on. And hi everyone who's on it on YouTube and on Instagram, do drop your questions in for me, because obviously I can answer them live for you while we're on. If you've got any topics you want me to talk about, please let me know. But Lorraine said she had, I think it was Ronan, is it Ronan Keaton? That sort of boy band, can't remember what band he was in, but you'll know who I mean, you know, the Irish guy, blonde. And he was saying how he's doing all these amazing things, and he's doing all these YouTube videos, which are doing concerts, and he's still got his band together. He's doing some solo stuff, and he was talking about everything, you know, from his big mansion, and everything was lovely. And she said to him, actually, she said, gosh, she said, I look at you and I think, gosh, she said, I was planning in lockdown to get all these things done. She said, but all I seem to be doing is sitting in front of the television eating a lot of chocolate. And I thought, wow, well done you, Lorraine, because actually the reality is that, you know, the front that people put on is, you know, actually behind the scenes, whilst it might be motivating and inspiring, you know, behind the scenes, it might be that these people aren't quite as happy, or if they are, it doesn't matter, because lots of other people are in the same boat and they feel emotions differently. You know, I mean, obviously everyone is coping in different ways and have different pressures. If you don't have financial pressures, it's easier to get up and use this time as a bit of a holiday. Whereas if you do, then obviously that's going to put pressure on you. If you're going through a breakup, it's going to put pressure on you that other people don't have if they're happily married, wealthy pop stars in a mansion, enjoying the time out, going for a swim in their swimming pool. You know, it's a different way of coping. And they have different problems. Doesn't mean they have other issues, and it doesn't mean that because you've got money in a house and a swimming pool doesn't mean that you are happy either. So, you know, but what I'm saying is it's all relative. So please don't compare yourself to the people you're seeing, and listen to people like Lorraine who are saying, you know, I'm eating a lot of junk food at the moment, and I really am just vegging out. And I think that's something that Eamon and Ruth also, they were saying this morning. I just heard them in the background while I was getting ready saying that they're arguing a lot. And I thought, well, that's funny because, you know, it's the realness, you know, that you've got to look for, not the projected outcome, you know. And I've got a lot of friends, and a lot of the people I work with are independent entrepreneurs like myself. So, you know, I work with a lot of people in the media and other people in the divorce industry or the family law industry, you know, and the lawyers, the barristers. You know, I'm in contact with these people daily, and, you know, I speak to the people at my charity, the Dash charity, who are dealing with victims of abuse. I'm in touch with the Domestic Abuse Commissioner and the Victims Commissioner, and I'm doing lots of projects behind the scenes on all these different things. And the one thing I can tell you is that everybody is finding this tough, whether you are a celebrity, whether you're high profile, whether you're living with other people in the house, whether you're in isolation. Everybody is finding this tough. Okay. And the fact that you guys are going through a breakup as well on top of that, please don't underestimate the impact of that. So it is normal to feel this way, and it is normal. So, you know, comparing yourself to others, it's not a reality comparison, because you're only comparing with what they're allowing you to see. Okay, so there's often a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. And anyway, you have everything you need within you, as we talked about yesterday, to cope with this. You know, you've gone through tough times and you've come out the other side. And that's something that's really valuable to hang on to, that you can do this. Now, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be without a little bit of ups and downs, an emotional roller coaster. But you can do this, guys. I promise you, you can get through this. And there's lots of things that will make it slightly more fun. So what have you been doing over the last couple of days that's made a difference? Yeah, I want you to think about the times we have been relaxed, the times we have managed to fall asleep at night. I've had a question about how do I sleep at night? Because at night, this particular lady, when she goes to bed, that's her time. She feels tired. So she's waiting till late to go to bed, because then she's like, I'm exhausted. And then she gets into bed and she says, and then I'm just, even though I'm so tired, my brain is just worrying about the breakup and what he's doing now and who he might be with and what did I do wrong and all these things. So one of the things that she's said is, how do I overcome that? And it's not the first time. I have lots of people like coaching clients. I know some of my coaches are even struggling with this. You know, sometimes, you know, it's everybody is finding this pressured situation. So whether it's a breakup or COVID or finances or all of the above, it will have an impact. So what would I suggest for helping you sleep at night? Well, there's a couple of things that I think are useful for people. First of all, you know, if you can find a way of distracting your brain at nighttime so that it doesn't go to that. So I know some of you find it useful just to have the television on in the background, or to read a book before you go to sleep, you know, something like that, that just isn't focusing your brain 100% on what you're doing. If you are into meditations, then meditating is a great thing to do, or putting on some relaxing music with words though, because I think one of the things is if you don't have words, or you're putting on some favorite music which takes you back to a time when you were with your ex, then all those things can trigger unconsciously things that are going to keep you focused on that. So something like a guided meditation is a useful thing. Oh, here we go. Thought Health. Hello. She says, beautiful guided meditations on Insight Timer. It's an app. Calm my whirring mind. Yeah, I think that's really good. Also, my friend Paul McKenna, you know, the hypnotist, hypnotherapist, he's amazing. Big self-help guru, written some awesome books. And if you've got time, read his books during this time, because they're all about getting the most out of life. I Can Make You Happy. Fabulous book. It's really easy to read as well. They're not like big thick manuals like some of these books can be. They're just very simple. I Can Make You Happy. He's got I Can Make You Thin, I Can Make You Confident, I Can Make You Rich, and also he's got I Can Make You Sleep. And the reason I particularly love this book for people that can't sleep at night is because it's programmed, it's giving you lots of positive messages that are sort of reprogramming your brain as he talks as well, but as you read through. But if you get it as on the Kindle version, there's a chapter in there, I'm not sure which chapter it is now, but you'll see there's a chapter in there which is a hypnotic trance. So what you do is you put it on, and it's Paul speaking, and it's two conversations layered over each other, so you can't really follow one because it's kind of intermingled with the other. And the way that that's designed is to appeal to your subconscious mind, so that it's reprogramming and reinforcing some really positive messages, but it's also relaxing your mind and distracting it from your thoughts so that it can switch off and relax. Some of you might fall asleep to that. Some of you might just find it relaxing. Some of you, it just gives you something to focus on while you're trying to get to sleep. But it is really powerful, and also it's very positive and empowering as well. So check out I Can Make You Sleep by Paul McKenna as well for sleeping at night. Plus, lavender spray is a really good, the natural ones, you know, you can get lavender spray. And if you just put a little spurt of that on your pillow, it can really relax you and help you to chill out a little bit and just get into a more relaxed state before you go to sleep. Amy says, after end of marriage, it can feel like I can't trust myself and I'm looking to others for reassurance all the time. How can I be self-reliant again? It's a really good question, Amy, and thank you for asking that, because it's something that comes up time and time again, and someone's asked something similar here on YouTube. So yeah, how do you build your self-reliance? Well, self-reliance is when you go to yourself first rather than asking other people. And, you know, I think I was telling the story the other day about the mum who, she's a lovely friend of mine, but she struggles at the end of bike club to put her son's bike back in the car because her husband packs it up. She's got quite a big boot, but it's a big bike and you have to kind of jiggle it around and get it in. But when it comes to packing the after bike club, she really struggles with that. So she always says, Sarah, can you do it for me? Now, I'm a single mum for a long time. Like, I've been a single parent for 10 years. So you kind of learn, don't you, to sort of step up and do those things that maybe someone else might do for you if they were there. Maybe not. Some people would never ask their partner to do things like that for them because they're more self-reliant, but you get into these roles. So how do you learn to be more self-reliant? Well, it's one thing I always work with my clients on is it's a work in progress, okay? Because you're saying you go to other people for reassurance all the time, and that's okay. You know, you need your friends and your support team. As you know, I'm a big supporter and a big fan, and it's an essential tool to have a breakup support team around you. But what I would say in this case is to build those self-reliance muscles, you need to start going to yourself first just to sense check. And how that works is, so for example, if you've got something, you go, okay, I've got this problem that's come up. What can I do? What would I do? And instead of automatically reaching for your phone to go to other people for reassurance or turning to them to say, what do you think? First of all, just pause and just go, okay, so if I was going to work out what I would do myself, what would I say? What would be my advice to me? Or you could always say, you know, if a friend came to me and asked me the same question, what would my advice be to her or to him? So that way you're asking yourself the question just to see what you would come up with. Now, I imagine your brain will come up with a couple of different things. They may not be the right things, but at least you're starting to think it through yourself first, Amy, and that's the important thing. Think it through yourself first. Now, at the beginning, you may still want to go to your friends or your family member, whoever you go to sense check it and just see. But you see, the more you do that, the more when they match or they come up with an idea and you go, yeah, I thought of that, but then I thought about this and then this was what I thought. They might go, oh yeah, you're totally right, totally do that. Do you see what I mean? Or they might just agree with you straight off. But the idea is that you're building that self-reliance muscle so that when things come up, you're asking yourself first. And I'm not saying to isolate yourself and not have that support team and not ask anyone else. What I'm saying is first go to you. Because the habit that you get into is just to lean on other people and you stop using your brain, you stop trusting your own instinct. And what I would like you to do is start tuning in a little bit more by asking yourself first, okay, what do I think? Now, some people will struggle with, well, what do I think? So then another question to ask is, well, if this was a friend in this situation, what would I say to them? What would my advice be to them? So that's another way to sort of trick your brain almost to coming up with a couple of potential solutions which you can then use. Do you see how it works? It's kind of an interesting one to do. So I've just got a bit of an itchy nose today. It's a hay fever. So yeah, Amy, does that help? Because I think those sort of asking yourself first and trusting your instinct, just to sound test it out first on you, and then test it with other people, and then go for them. So you still get that support system. You still can do that, but you're asking yourself first, and that's how you sort of build that self-reliance muscle up, so that actually after a while you're a bit more confident in your own skin. Okay. And then also, the practical things are the same thing. Like putting the bike in the back of the car. Try it, okay? If someone else can do it, it's possible. And I'm much smaller than my friend Claire. So it's not a size thing. It's not a strength thing. Definitely not a strength thing. It's just a mindset thing, okay? It's a mindset thing. You might have got into the mindset going, well, I can't. Well, actually, it is, well, I can. I can. And it's not about I'm going to try. Because, if you've got something close to you guys, like a pen or something, try and pick it up. Try and pick it up. If you pick it up, that's not trying. You've done it. I'm saying try. So if you're trying to do something, you're setting yourself a very low goal. And what I'm saying for you is I want you to do it. Just do it. It might not be perfect, or you might struggle, or it might take you a bit of time to do certain things, but you can. Like I have a cleaner that comes in and does things for me because I work so hard and I'm a single mom, and it actually works for me. It frees up time for me to do more work. She's not coming in at the moment, so I'm stepping up and doing those things. Now, I don't like doing them, but I can do them. Do I do them as well as her? Absolutely not. Do I have that sort of passion for it? Absolutely not. Do I miss it? Yes, very much. But I can, and I will. So this is what I'm saying to you. Sometimes we have adapted in other ways. What other ways have you adapted, Amy, during isolation, or all of you, to do more for yourself than you thought you could have done before? You might have thought the prospect of not seeing your parents, for example, for this amount of time would have been horrific 6 months ago, because it is. But actually doing it now, it's become the new normal, and we found other ways to communicate and support and take care of people. So do you see how there's a difference here? There's a difference in just learning to be a little bit braver. And it's cool to be brave, guys. It's cool to go, you know what, I'm scared of that, but I'm going to try. I'm going to do. I'm going to step up. I'm going to just make a bit more of an effort in that area. I'm going to smash that down, because the sense of achievement it gives you for pushing through those boundaries that you've put up. Remember, you build them. They've all come from you in here. They might have been suggested if you've been in a controlling relationship that you could never do this, or you could never do that, or you were no good at that. Lots of people have had things put in their heads. Maybe, like for me, I had a music teacher who told me I was terrible at singing and I didn't make the choir. When actually, as a kid, I was very musical and I played lots of instruments, and that was my thing. And then I wanted to join the choir because a lot of my friends were in the choir, and I got rejected because she said I wasn't any good. So I believed for years I wasn't a good singer until someone heard me sing and commented, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Oh, but that has stuck with me. There's still a little part of me that believes I'm maybe not the best singer in the world." My son might collaborate with that. I agree with that. But anyway, there is, you've got to be aware of your self-imposed limitations, and then push through them and step out of that and actually start to own. Just because you've always been not so great at something doesn't mean you can't be better at it in the future. So there's lots of ways of doing things here that empowers you to step up and give things a go. And just by giving them a go, you're going to shatter some of those limitations that have held you back, some of those limiting beliefs which have stopped you from being the person you could be to this day. There's lots of things that maybe we have got going on in our heads that stop us from doing things. What are those things for you? Amy says she's going to give it a go and experiment. Good. It'd be great, Amy, to hear how you get on over the next week or so, because I think, these things are work in progress. And so when we try things and they don't work, like, when I tried getting the bike rack on my bike on my car the first time, I couldn't do it. It was too heavy. It was too clunky. It was just, I couldn't do it. And then I gave up, and then I asked someone to help me, and then they helped me, and then I learned from that. And then I had another go on my own. I had to keep going on my own. And now there's a knack to it. And then when you get the knack of something, suddenly it becomes easy. So now I'm just like, done. Yeah, it's still heavy, but if you do it in a certain way and tilt it at a certain angle, it's much quicker, it's much easier. And I could do it, I can nail it, absolutely. Did I think I could do it at the beginning? I was struggling with that. So what is it that you have learned to do in the past that you never thought you could do? Because looking back at those things as well gives you evidence and proof that you can go on and do things, even though you thought maybe you could never do them to start with. So the practical, I'm all right at, great. The emotional, interpersonal, decision-making stuff is harder for me. Yeah, and that is the same for a lot of people, because we've become very reliant on other people to help us with those decisions. And what I would love for you all is to learn these skills to be more empowered, because actually what being single gives you is, and being single during lockdown gives you, is a chance to really build on those skills to boost your confidence, to show you and to prove to you beyond doubt, beyond those little voices in your head that go, can you really do it? Can you really sustain doing it? That you can do these things, that you can survive, that you can put things together in a way, and you can cope with ups and downs. You can do that. And there's tools that you can do, use the 5-star jumps that I talk about, change your state, go for a walk, take some deep breaths, minimize it, take the color out, shrink the picture down in your head and just throw it somewhere else, like we talked about the other day. And there's lots of things you can do to change the way you feel, taking that emotion. Do you remember when we talked about where is that negative emotion within you? What color is it? What does it sound like? How is it moving? What temperature is it? What weight is it? And then pulling it out of you and then changing all those to your favorite colors and your favorite sounds and making it soft and fluffy maybe, or smooth, or putting a wave sound over it, or something that makes you feel totally relaxed, and then replacing it back into the same place again and noticing how you control what's going on in here. Okay, just because someone's done something or behaved badly towards you or said something that's unkind doesn't mean you have to continue feeling bad about it, because we choose our responses. We choose our responses. You are choosing to feel the way you choose. Now, yeah, I'm not saying it's easy to change those things, but it is possible and it's not difficult. It's just a mindset saying, okay, maybe getting some comparison, like think about some people that are suffering more than you right now, suddenly puts things back into a bit of perspective. Think about asking yourself a better question. What can I do about this that's going to make it a little bit better for me right now without running to other people? How do I empower myself to get back in that driving seat? Who do I want to become? I want to become more independent. I want to become more self-reliant. I want to boost my confidence. How do I do that? It's just by every day stepping up and taking more responsibility for you, and stop putting that responsibility on other people. Because actually, the minute you own responsibility for your own life and realize that the buck stops with you and nobody else, then that's when you start to get your life back together. That's when you start to say, I can have what I want in my life, and I want to design my life just the way I want it. I want to feel good every morning. So when I wake up in the morning and that reality hits me of, oh gosh, they've left me, I'm on my own, I'm then going to change that and, I don't know, play some really happy music, or do a meditation, or I'm going to get up and go for a run, or I'm going to open the window, say out loud, today is an amazing day, or I feel awesome, even if you don't. Okay, because you have to act as if a little bit to trick your mind. And that's how, if you say, I feel bad, this is terrible, then obviously your mood is going to stay bad and terrible. If you start programming your brain, okay, there's some good stuff going to happen today, I'm enjoying this, look, the sun is shining and I'm grateful for that. My children are happy, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to have a home, I'm grateful to feel healthy, I'm grateful. If you do things like this, it's going to change your state and empower you. Now, obviously it takes effort. Obviously it takes you committing to step up and do these things, but little things, even if you put a post-it note with a positive phrase on it, like I'm a rock star, or I am lovable, or I am awesome, whatever it is, if you just put a post-it note somewhere on your bathroom mirror or behind you, your wardrobe door or something, where you're going to see it every day, where that just triggers you to think, yeah, okay, I'm going to say that out loud. I'm going to say it as if I mean it, or I'm going to just repeat that over and over in my head today, because that's going to shift how you feel. And remember, we control that. What you put in is what you get out. It's like what food you put in is going to determine the amount of energy you have coming out. It's the same with the thoughts. It's the same with the words and the phrases. It's the same with the body language. If you're sitting like this and you're scrunched up like this, your body's going to reflect that mood. If you're like, whoa, okay, you're going to get a boost and a rush of energy. It's going to make you feel more positive. And what I'm saying is all these things stacked together start to make a difference, start to tip the balance, start to help you feel more empowered, more self-reliant. I can do this, and then dreaming and planning for the future. What is it you're going to achieve? What do you want to do? Where do you want to be in a year's time? Start thinking about that, because if you're still where you are now in a year's time, how does that feel? If you're still feeling the way you feel now in a year's time because you've not done anything and you just carried on dragging that baggage with you, thinking about your ex and how you're hard done by and how he's been or she's been unkind to you, you'll feel the same in a year's time, but you'll just be a year older and you'll be more entrenched in those views. What I'm saying is it's time now to start processing, okay, tough things happen in life, but they do not have to define you. And we have to look back and learn the lessons from those and go, look, maybe I could have been a bit stronger. Maybe I could have stepped up. Maybe there's nothing I could have done, but I am where I am. So what have I learned from that? I've learned not to trust people who lie. I've learned not to trust people who, who are unkind. I've learned to have sustainable boundaries about what is acceptable behavior with the people I surround myself with. And if anyone breaches those, I am out of that. These things are important. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so I hope this helps. I hope you've had a good time today. And I would really, really look forward to seeing your questions over the weekend. Unfortunately, I am not here on Monday because I have an all-day appointment that I have to be at. So I can't be here on Monday, but do send me your questions in and I will answer them all on Tuesday at 2 p.m. So you have a lovely weekend. Stay strong. Keep me posted on how you're going with your self-reliance building. Ask yourself first and then go to your friends, and let's see how we can start feeling more empowered. Use these 3 days to build your feeling great, feeling empowered. And I look forward to seeing how you've all got on. Lots of love, everybody. And I will see you Tuesday at 2 p.m.